One reason why I think diversity and inclusion is so important, well, first off, there's justice and equity and ancestral healing and creating a safe society that everybody belongs in as more than equals, as cherished, beautiful, empowered individuals. And then the cognitive diversity of having different backgrounds and perspectives. There's a lot of perspectives typically in the room, whether it's people who are very different from us, whether they come from a different cultural background, or they're cognitively very diverse, so they think very differently. People who tend to be quiet often have a really interesting perspective on a problem because they're observing and they're listening. And unless they're asked their perspective, they typically will not share it. Perhaps it's cognitive diversity in the sense of a different technical background, or maybe a non-technical background. I've been in lots of technical environments where the only people whose perspective is valued are the hardcore scientists. And then there's a lot of perspectives in the room that get overlooked. So noticing when the cultural dynamic is excluding some of the perspectives in the room, including the background of somebody who has felt like they don't fit in their whole life. And maybe that's shaped their perspective and they have some insights to bring to the table, and celebrating that, saying, you know what, you've had some difficult experiences in your career, like women in the workplace, people of color in the workplace. And that makes you a better leader than anyone else in this room because you have true empathy and you understand what it's like, and celebrating that. Mm-hmm. And then having real conversations around that. So this is where the diversity and inclusion conversations, a lot of times, the things that people share that they've gone through, or that they're experiencing right here, right now, it's a depth and a realness of conversation, a visceral experience that just hasn't even happened in the organization before. It has such a deep impact that then it gives everyone permission to express themselves and be vulnerable and be courageous and step into their power and set boundaries and ask for help, real help. Like, I need you to be an ally through this. I need you to be a partner through this. And then from there, different outcomes can start to shape, and different ways of being can start to appear. It could also be more junior people. I've been part of organizations that hire the best of the best. Princeton graduates and MIT and Stanford and all the best schools, and brilliant young professionals who come in with wide eyes and idealism and having learned all sorts of new ways of approaching problems. And then they step into an environment where they're being asked to execute on old ways of doing things. And they're not being called forth to share all of the richness that they've cultivated. So what's the purpose of hiring the best of the best and then not fully empowering them, and not making ourselves a little bit uncomfortable, perhaps? That maybe the way that we're used to doing things isn't necessarily the best way to do things. Mm-hmm.